I think one of the main barriers to connecting with other departments is that their ability for us to access it in the first place, right? I mean, I think we have GC Connects and we have GC Collab, and I'm wondering, do all departments, first of all, have access to those tools? And even if not, then what is the hope kind of like for the other social media kind of tools as well? Before we even get into how we even use the social media tools, can we even access them? And I remember when like Facebook and everything like that was being accessed at my home department, I remember there was a lot of apprehension of like, oh my God, we're gonna get like a lot of wasted time. People are just like, you know, wasting hours on Facebook, you know, like productivity is gonna go through the floor. But then a lot of people didn't actually realize that, you know, they're using this to network and, you know, find other job opportunities and, you know, see what was going on kind of thing. So like, I think it's useful, right? And like, you know, of course it's a fine balance.
A lot of people get really worried thinking that government information is going to start getting shared on Twitter or something like that. And so the immediate response is no, like there's no way we can start going on there. But people's lives are on there anyway. I mean, I'm using Twitter personally and increasingly more professionally. And that's where my major sources of news are, and that's where I'm trying to stay engaged in the community. And now I'm being looped into different conversations that I would have never necessarily been looped into. And I'm not sharing sensitive government information, but I am talking about different things that we're working on. Someone points to our attention, oh, you know, we think that this is terrible, this is stifling our ability to innovate. And immediately you start seeing conversations between people that probably aren't going to walk around the branch or walk around the city to go talk to each other about.
Someone was going to abuse and like send out a lot of government information. There's 100 other ways to do it, right? I could send an email to somebody, I could send an email to myself, right? You know, and send out nefarious stuff. I can actually go have a conversation with somebody. So if I was going to be nefarious, there's many ways to do it. Social media wouldn't happen to be that big, scary thing that was there. The only problem is that it's also amplified. So if you say something stupid, yeah, you can do it in an email, maybe to a group email, and still, you know, damage might be limited. But once you kind of tweet out something, it's kind of there and it's floating.
Your offline reputation is the same as your online reputation now,
yeah.
and people don't understand that to the same amount yet. It's scary to think that, you know, you could be in an office in a meeting one day and say something and it go nowhere, whereas on Twitter you say something and it takes one major person to retweet it and all of a sudden that's going everywhere, right? So you need to be very careful and very calculated about what you're saying, but also be willing to risk a little bit and get out there and have those conversations and recognize that it's still a space where you can develop ideas without being held to them necessarily. It's moving a lot more to the yes and here's how, so building things in from the beginning. So yeah, you're agreeing that social media is going to be start being used more. Well, make sure that the right defenses are in place. I mean, we have a defense in depth approach here. A lot of that's going to come down to user awareness as well. It's changing the model where we get involved early from a cybersecurity perspective, from an IT security perspective, and work to build a stronger security framework where everyone is involved. Security is everyone's responsibility. It's not just those with it in their title anymore.
I think by nature, security people, just from what they do, they're more private, right? And so they don't share. And actually, I think we actually have a lot of trouble sharing amongst ourselves as security practitioners. So if social media can actually help to, you know, for us to collaborate, then that's a good item. Not to the extent where like, oh, here are the secrets, you know, and here what we're doing. That's not what I'm talking about. But like strategies, like how do we work together? How do we leverage each other so that we can actually raise the threshold of like getting people into our systems? You know what I mean? Like create better barriers, right? So that we raise that threshold overall, kind of thing.
Tomorrow there's going to be something new, and the next day there's going to be something new, and if we're constantly just having to review those and be like, okay, this one has a check mark now, okay, this one now has a check mark, it's the wrong approach. It's a mindset change rather than just checkbox compliance.
And then you've got even like stuff like Snapchat, and, you know, Instagram, all these other platforms that, you know, the kids are using these days. I have no idea about, you know, but I don't think they're relevant in the government or workplace context, at least in our context, but maybe they are, and I just don't get it. If we're going to create public good and increase the value of the government, we can't hesitate anymore to start talking about what we're doing. I know. Next time.
Whatever.
Too disappointing.
No, here.
And go.
Okay.